Hi, I'm August Keller, and this is my review of Inside Out. So, this is just another Pixar masterpiece. Um, as usual with Pixar, with their best, it's equally educational and entertaining. It makes the most of both. Inside Out evokes deep feelings while examining the importance of those feelings. Um, it's a very literal metaphor. It's very straightforward in its metaphor. The lead character is Joy, and her arc is learning the importance, the value of sadness, the character sadness, and that is the lesson of the movie: is that negative emotions aren't to be stifled; they're to be embraced and understood and processed. So sadness isn't this um, thing to fight; it's a thing and push away. It's a thing to understand, and it can bring a lot of value to our lives. And that's such a great lesson. I mean, it's great for children to learn, of course, but it's a lesson that adults can learn from too. And that's, the beauty of these Pixar movies. Um, it conveys these concepts like memory and imagination and subconscious as these literal objects and locations. So it's like very fun and playful, but also very substantial and informative. These are things that maybe even adults don't really know well, and seeing them depicted in this way is very intuitive and helps us understand it better. Um, the voice acting is very clear and portrays these emotional states really well, but gives them fair range, and it's all very dramatic, but also very characterized and exaggerated and playful. So altogether, Inside Out has this way of captivating audiences, but also lingering with these messages. It's this kind of movie that sticks with you well after you're done watching it. You can just sit and think about it and reflect on what you've learned. And that's for children and for adults. Technically, Inside Out is also very skilled. The Pixar CGI animation is top notch. It's premium. It's got vivid textures and details. Pixar is always at the cutting edge of what CGI movies can look like. It's always pushing the boundary. This movie is nearly 10 years old, maybe even more, and it looks better than some mainstream movies coming out today. The production design is also, I touched on earlier, it does a good job of turning these abstract ideas into literal and memorable designs. Whether it's characters or locations, it's all very whimsical yet instructive, informative. Speaking of informative, I think the cinematography is very meaningful and informative. You know, Pixar movies are colorful inherently, and there's a lot of lighting and POVs and framing and some composition. But I would say the strength of Pixar cinematography is more in how informative it is. Um, the sound has some really dramatically silent moments, which I think are underrated. The climax is very quiet, and that's very powerful. Um, the editing creates a lot of momentum through crosscuts. There's the internal and external reality that it's jumping these two parallel plot lines, and the editing does a good job of balancing the two and creating momentum between the two. The music creates a very bittersweet mood, which is perfect because it's not overly sweet, but it is uplifting. Um, so yeah, the and that creates a so the direction creates this tone that's very positive, but also earned, which is just the perfect thing for a movie like this. It's so easy for this movie to be overly sweet and feel insincere, or maybe a little too dark and be kind of a downer. But this movie finds the silver lining, and even something like sadness, and the direction does a good job of really driving that home. So overall, Inside Out is an artful presentation and an enlightening experience. It's the best of both worlds, and this is why peak Pixar is pretty much unparalleled, because it's just so smart and so thoughtful, but also so fun and so enjoyable. And that's just the best of both worlds. And it's hard for a good movie to even do one of those two things. And this Inside Out makes it look easy. So, yeah, that's all I have to say about that. If you like what I'm doing here, please feel free to like and subscribe. Or you can follow me on Instagram, which is linked in the description. But at the very least, I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.